Alrighty, I'm going back to the videos where I just where I don't even bother to plug in the mic. I'm listening to this hilarious debate between this Professor Flowers and good old Vosh. 2.5 hours. It's going to be 3 hours worth of debate. Oh my goodness, it's just it's a circle jerk. They just keep going around and around. But this is something I think I will somewhat agree with Vosh. Maybe it's because I've listened to so much of his bullshit that I'm starting to agree with it, which is dangerous. But I think he's right, where it's like, just be honest about your beliefs. I think she's just like, she has so many of the stereotypes. It's like she was raised by. I'm gonna have to show the clip when when this comes out as a vibe. But she literally says, "I was adopted by white parents," and she's half black. I'm like, oh my, she's the living stereotype. She's like Elijah Muhammad being half white. It's just you have to be honest about your beliefs. Where she's just like, well, you know, she's speaking for Native peoples, and then she's just like, well, they should, you should be talking to a Native person about that. It should be up to them. And it's a classic sort of thing where it's like they will give all these sort of the standard line of just like, yeah, they've been oppressed and everything like that, but then it's up to them. And it's just like, now, don't get me wrong, Vosh was extremely bad faith and was just like, yeah, actually, he said, well, black people commit more crime. And I know he's going to the extreme, but it's like, oh my good, and he's alienated a few of his audience already. I can see that. Like I say, there are people that drop off from his audience pretty regularly. I imagine for every 1,000 he gets, there's maybe 1,500 that leave. I imagine, but maybe that's cope for me. But honestly, if you're going to be a white nationalist, be a white nationalist. You know, make it appealing and whatnot, I guess, but just be honest about that. If you're going to be a black nationalist and then be half white, then go for it, I guess. I mean, that's always the thing, right? I mean, it's the same thing with Haiti. I mean, people can talk about Dessalines all day. The thing is that Dessalines, what they forget to talk about is that Dessalines was killed by his own people because he basically said, yeah, we still need slavery. So, yeah, he got executed. And then there were a succession of leaders of Haiti that were mixed. There was a history of mixed leaders in Haiti, one of which was literally torn apart by their own people. My point is this is there's so much hypocrisy in the world. There are so many folks who are just so worried about these issues, and it's just like, just go ahead and do it then at this point. For me, I'll be honest about my beliefs. If the revolution happened tomorrow or whichever, I would join the gun writers. I would join like a mafia organization. I would be honest with you. I don't care what I would be doing, generally speaking, but I would rather join them because at least they would be honest in the fact that they just wanted to make money and have power. Will they do things by racism? Sure. But I would rather join them. I'd rather join the folks that are like gangsters. I would rather join them than ever join any political group. I'll be honest with you, because the political groups are goofy. They have no power. They are merely here for our enjoyment. That's all it is. Proud Boys are simply there for people to laugh at. When that tiny guy, the Samoan, gets himself shot in the foot, whether it was himself or whether it was Antifa, whoever, it is there for our enjoyment. That's it. When we see Antifa attacking Rose City Antifa, I'll be very specific, attack the courthouse, and they're trying to do this phalanx formation, that is there for our amusement. I cannot take any politics in the United States any bit seriously. I would rather take a company that has far more power and has far more influence them seriously. I would rather take them seriously than any sort of political group. And maybe I'm being very disingenuous by comparing Antifa and the Proud Boys to the Democrats or Republicans, but in general, law enforcement can choose what laws they want to enforce and let other things slide. That's the truth of the matter. They choose what they want to enforce and what they don't. And they can be hypocritical as fuck, where it's like, yeah, you can't talk on your phone while you're driving. Take a look over at the cop. What are they doing? Yeah, hey, how's it going, honey? I'm going to be off in about an hour. So they get to choose what they want to do. So ultimately, Democrats and Republicans can make the laws, but it depends on the police to selectively enforce those laws when they feel it's necessary. I don't know what I'm becoming at this point. I genuinely don't. I'm just so exasperated and I'm frustrated. And I'm just trying to keep my head above water, you know. I know that there are issues that I have that I need to work on, but I don't know. Honestly, I'm just so tired. And I just don't want to fight anymore. I don't know. I've come to that point where it's just like, okay, do things that way. All right. Anywho, that's all I have to say about it. I hate talking about this stuff, but it keeps on going. Is it still going? Hold on. I want to make sure here. Yes, they are still talking. It has been nearly 3 hours. Holy shit. Of them talking about the same issues. He should have cut this off long ago, but it's still going. And it's just that there is no definitive answer. It's just going to be whatever happens is going to happen. And all we can do is live with the consequences. Maybe I've come to that point where it's just like you have to make your own choices and you have to decide what side you're going to give lip service to. Not to say that you agree with any one side completely. I don't think you're ever going to do that, but just to say what group benefits you the best. Anywho, that's all I have to say. Maybe I'm being real larpy with the mafia stuff and everything else, but I just seeing stuff online and seeing just briefly, what IRL politics is, I just hate all of it. I genuinely do. I hate all of it. Right wing, left wing, I just hate all of it. I genuinely do. I would rather just make as much money as possible and just try to buy a house out in the country at this point. I don't even know what I want, but all I know is I'm sick of politics and more specifically the LARPers within it that think that they know better. I mean, it's one thing to talk about geopolitics and try to talk about it in a realistic way, but when you see these goobers who just, who every other person wants to talk about abortion and ignores the other stuff that was passed in Texas, nobody cares. Like I say, you know what? I'm done. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy this. Yeah, I don't know what I'm turning into, but I hope y'all enjoy it. I hope y'all enjoy where I'm going with the content. I may slide back into certain areas, but in general, I think I'm on this point where it's just like, I don't know where I'm at. Anyway, see you later. Goodbye.